Hi there, Aries. This is your 2022 finale called December, in which you're going to finish really strong this month in making breakthrough gains in your career, having the opportunity to break through old patterns of self-defeat and self-undoing, even get a little bit of spiritual awakening going, as well as the possibility of a very exciting trip abroad or even domestically. So we've got travel, career gains, and this really juicy spiritual liberation, awakening, vibrational frequency upgrade for you. And especially if you've been trying to get rid of any addictions or anything like that, or self-defeating habits and patterns where you know you're sabotaging yourself. This is going to change in the month of December. So let's get started, shall we? First of all, if you're new to my channel, I am Lori Lothian. I am a Hellenistic astrologer. I use the whole sign ancient house system. You can also expect me to talk about minor asteroids as well as fixed stars on occasion, as well as using some Time Lord tools from ancient Persia, Babylon, and Indian astrology. Now, before we begin, if you are new to my channel, please make sure you hit that like button, because when you do, and the subscribe button and the bell, because all of those things help my channel grow, but it also helps you keep track of what I'm up to. I publish at least 24 videos a month these days, and you might want to be in on those, and check out my description box below for things that I have going on. If you've always wanted to learn some really cool ancient and little known timing tools for using astrology as a predictive forecast for your life, then check out my divine timing masterclass, which we're going to go into some really cool astrology together in February. And that's what I'm teaching that class next. And if you want to get in, check my description box below and find out more about it. All right, there's a wait list kind of thing. Okay, my hair is really frizzy today, but my fellow Aries, I'm a sun and moon. Let's talk about your sky. Every single December, you end up with a lot of action in Capricorn. This is when like the sun and Mercury and Venus all pile up. Pluto's been there since 2008, and that's your 10th house of career. So you can expect that most times December becomes a kind of career focused time. You're going to pay a lot of attention to your career. But this year we have some interesting developments that coincide with it. Okay, so let's go back and talk about basics, and we're going to also kind of flow into time paths here. I'll try to make it somewhat chronological for you. Venus and Mercury coming out of Sagittarius, okay, are going to change the quality of how you feel in December when they cross over the threshold from the Sag corridor of your chart into the Capricorn space. Now, the Capricorn space is career, whereas the Sag corridor is, foreign trips and travel and high philosophies and academia and your faith, hopes, and beliefs and God and wisdom. It's a very subtle metacosmos between or greater than this world place. Who knows, where we have our divine inspiration. And, there was back in November on the 23rd, a glorious, beautiful, super angelic, gorgeous moon there on the 23rd as well. So definitely lightening you up a lot at that time. But then Mercury will go into Capricorn on December 6th. And right on the heels of that, Venus follows suit on December 10th. So most of the month of December, you start to feel very obligated to dig in to success in your career ambitions, what it is you want to have success in, and say, hey, look at me, I did this thing, I climbed this career mountain, aren't I great? So while everybody else is going to Christmas parties, you guys every year get more serious about your work. Now, with Mercury moving into Capricorn on December 6th, it's a long stay. He'll be there until sometime in February because of a retrogradation here on December 29th. So I want you to understand that things that Mercury has you doing, marketing and merchandising and messaging and communicating in your career field, are going to increase. And continue on to February. With that retrograde in December 29th, you won't really feel the import of the retrogradation until we move into the month of January. So we won't talk too much about it. But before that time, the 6th to the 29th of the month, your ability to speak, to message, to communicate, to market or sell things in your efforts, in your career endeavors, is going to be amplified. And we have Venus starting on December 10th, supporting Mercury to make you very appealing, popular, likable in your career space, and you may get raises, promotions, and bonuses between December the 10th and the end of the month. And in fact, Venus is in your Capricorn zone until January 3rd, all the way through New Year's, making it a very profitable and exciting and lucky time in your work and career path. Jupiter is in direct motion since around the 23rd of December, and he's in your spiritual house, which is your 12th house of, well, it can be foreign trips to foreign lands. And because he's there, for sure, this is why one of the reasons I brought it up, you may indeed travel to a foreign shore or plan that trip. And Jupiter will be there until December the 20th. So Jupiter here moving in direct motion from the 28th degree where he's stationed in the third week of November. He's moving very slowly over that 29th degree anaretic. It's kind of a turbulent degree, just so you know. So you may find there's some turbulent energy regarding foreign lands, foreign shores, some exciting, intense energy regarding themes of revenue you generate from foreign lands and foreign shores. It may not be bad, it's just intense and very intense. And, I like, for people like me who use PayPal Stripe processors and have clients and sell things around the world, this could be a real surge of some kind of sales or sales numbers for you. Finally, if you have any spiritual path, like you're looking for truth, guru is Jupiter, and you could go back to an older guru because he retrograded into here before he moved direct, or you could plan a journey to a foreign land that's going to be a spiritual sanctuary, a spiritual retreat, or is going to hook you up with some kind of spiritual teaching. Those are all very good possibilities. And with Jupiter moving direct, through the last tail end of your 12th house, if you do have any addictions, then just last, those things that you linger, like, I want to quit smoking, I want to quit alcohol, those things you just can't shake. This is your last chance for Jupiter's blessings to help you really move through it for another 12 years. Jupiter has been here for a few months in 21, the first 5 months of 2022, and this is his last little salvo. So if you have anything you need to get rid of, addiction, self-defeating habits and patterns, December holds promise. It's your last chance to do so. Now, one of the things I want to point out is the moon story. There is going to be in December, on the early part of December, the 7th, a very intense Gemini full moon. And this Gemini full moon is conjunct, Mars, exactly. And Mars is retrograding in Gemini. This is happening at 16 Gemini. Now, in your sky as an Aries person, it has a particular flavor. It is the flavor of your third house. And your third house is a house of siblings, the house of aunts and uncles and cousins, trips and travel. Depending on your sky, it could even be where you live, if your IC is there in whole sign houses. It's also the house of writing, communicating, your online world. And so there's something very big, a big intensity happening, a full light happening. But I want you to go back to May 30th, add 2 weeks, so into June of 2022. What were you doing with siblings, trips, travel, aunts, uncles, cousins, online world stuff, maybe teaching, instructing, guiding, writing? These things that were germinated in the first 2 weeks of June of 22 are coming to a fullness here. And it is conjunct Mars, the action taking god, which is really exciting, because what bold actions are you going to take that are connected and yet familiar? He's retrograde to things that were happening in your life back in the first 2 weeks of June 2022. And for some of you, it could be travel and trips. For some of you, it could be new ambitious directions about something you want to teach or write, or something to do with your online social media stuff and all of that. Now, one of the things I can say for that is that if you have a sibling and Mars is the god of adventure, and this is a full moon, you could be planning a trip or taking a trip with a sibling and having an adventure with that person or to that person as a result of what's going on here. And again, a full moon, full light, big, beautiful thing. Now, it is a full moon on the 16th degree on December 7th, squaring Juno. This Juno is a god of committed partnerships. You can use it for business or love partnerships. A square is definitely difficult energy. She is in Pisces. What kind of full moon is showing you what you need to leave behind, cut away, and release regarding some kind of collaboration that you may have involved yourself with someone behind the scenes? It wouldn't be a very public love story or a very public business story, but you realize it's time to end that alliance. It's time to cut that loose. It may not be full of hardship. It just might be a simple decision to end that alliance in business or love, or even a teaching alliance or partnership as well. Foreign shores, it does connect to Juno in the house of foreign shores. So if there's any kind of business or love partnership from someone in a foreign land, some of you Aries are getting ready to cut loose as a result of the full moon. Go back, of course, the first 2 weeks of June and see if some of these themes are reminiscent of something that's already been occurring and you might be just finishing up with it. I want to let you know that it's a little bit more of a chronological order, that the beginning of the month is interesting. December 1st to the 5th, that kind of vibe, in the very start of the month. Venus is the goddess of love, and she's going to be experiencing an opposition from Mars. And now this can be almost like intense, passionate action, a super focused new direction, or making passionate decisions to follow your true desires. And this window of time is kind of all active in the first 5 days of December, is really significant for you because it's also involving Venus in a sextile to Saturn, meaning that new decisions or directions of passionate action and intensity around doing what you love, especially if it involves publishing or writing or traveling, it's going to be fortified and strengthened because Saturn's in agreement. Saturn is the god of things that stick the landing. Venus will sextile Saturn while she's, just after she comes into that opposition to Mars. And so the decisions, actions, and passionate things you take around travel, book publishing, teaching and learning, Saturn legacy, long-lasting results, especially with groups of people, are going to be very, very satisfying. Now, of course, Venus opposing Mars could be cutting out of a love story, like, axing your way. Like Mars is like the scalpel, the cut, and saying goodbye. I'm done with that. We're no longer in a relationship with somebody that you may have been romantically involved with. And that may happen for some of you, Aries. I don't mean like marriages necessarily, but it could be, since Venus is a ruler of your long-term commitment house, your 7th house, but there definitely could be a significant end to a relationship. And lastly, this could be an exciting trip. There's no doubt about it. You may be on the trip on the first week of the December or finalizing details about the trip, but there's could be a connection to some travel for you. And just before that happens, Mercury will square Neptune also around December 1st, 2nd. And Mercury is in Sagittarius with Venus at the time, squaring Neptune in your house of foreign lands and travel. This could also be difficulty getting some kind of trip going, or having some illusion about a trip or fantasy about a trip and having communication glitches and getting it started. Or Mercury is dispelling real information that you need to know about a particular love story so that you can make decisions that are sound and take passionate action in the direction of your highest good. December the 8th to the 9th is a time where the sun will be in that opposition to Mars, following up on Venus's first pass on that. And Sun-Mars opposition is conflict with people in positions of authority or conflicts with people in power. So watch for the December 8th, 9th time, Aries, not to get into a battle with a father figure, especially because Sun in the 9th in Vedic astrology is the house of the father, or a spiritual authority, or even it could be, depending on the kind of work you do, a conflict with a boss. And, you will maybe have to go back and redo that conflict later on when Mars goes back through the same part of the sky around March. So just want to be careful that, or actually would be February for you. So subdue your impulse to, as an Aries, get caught up in a conflict that could be very challenging. You also have Venus squaring Jupiter on the 8th and the 9th at the same time. And, Venus is squaring the Jupiter in that 12th house of addictions and foreign lands and travel and self-undoing. So again, is it the final chance for you to get rid of an addiction finally? Maybe, because, Venus is the god of pleasures and things that we can be experiencing as pleasurable, not necessarily joyful. And Neptune is addiction, and you may just make a final decision here. You've got support from Mars across the way, powerful decision-making intensity to cut out on December 8th and 9th some substance that is no longer working for you. On the other hand, one other way this could work is this could be a very intense moment of making a decision regarding a trip, and this trip may involve possibly foreign lands and possibly romance, because Mars is sort of in the mix. It's kind of decisions, trips, travel, romance, sticking the landing. I do apologize for that. I forgot to put my notifications on, and that's my daughter. So let me tell her what's up. Okay. So moving on. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I normally just turn off my notifications, but I just didn't want to lose my flow here. So let's keep going. And last thing I want to say, if you're spiritually inclined and looking for spiritual truth and wisdom, I mean, Venus square Jupiter could be a female guru, a female teacher, and you're really having an intense encounter with that person around the 8th and the 9th in some way. Moving us forward in time, December, like roughly the 12th to the 15th, we have we have the sun in a sextile, which is a flowing and harmonious aspect to Saturn. You're consolidating and grounding and bringing down to earth some kind of purpose, dharma, vision, hope, belief, and how it can work for great gains in your career. For example, you might finalize a manuscript draft and it could be very popular with the people and bring great gains to your career. You could finalize an agreement for a course you wish to teach or take, and it could really open up greater gains in your career, because Saturn is in the house of great gains from career and large social networks. There has been a desire to really get serious, responsible, and realistic about what kinds of range of gains you can make in your career and what kind of friends you actually want. As you know, if you are an Aries rising, you've let go of a lot of friends. And I hate to say it, over the last 2.5 years, some of them have died because Saturn is the Grim Reaper. So I can attest to 3 female friends dying as an Aries sun over the last 2.5 years. So another thing that could happen with this sextile between the sun, an authority figure could offer you some kind of a favor that brings you greater financial gain or attention or public recognition as an expert authority. So you could be asked by somebody in a position of power to step up, and that could be very good for your career. And at the same time, on the 12th to the 15th, that same thing, the sun is squaring Neptune in the house of foreign lands and travel addiction. So I think you may also, because it's at both 12 and 9 involve spirituality, you may also be coming to a point in your life where you're looking squarely at what illusions and delusions you have and shining the soul light of the sun in a house of its joy on what's true for you. Bottom line, there's a lot of soul searching going on this month for you, but between the 12th and the 15th, not only could you get a favor from someone in power that helps influence others, it gives you greater gains in your career, but you could also kind of cut through the foggy dross of what you think you need, what you should have going in your career, and eliminate Saturn, pare down and constrain and restrict everything down to the bare essentials, so that you can look at this as a time of paring away all that isn't really authentically you in purpose around that time. That's December 12th to the 15th, December 17th to the 18th. Okay. This is a time where Mercury for a while will be in a trine to Uranus, and that will be picked up later on the 21st, 22nd by Venus trining Uranus, because they're following each other. And this is in Capricorn, Mercury in Capricorn. Yeah. Trining Venus and Uranus, trining Uranus, and then Venus following up December 21st behind him. It's good news. It's lucky good news. It's lucky breaks and good news. I think I'm in a lottery draw for a home lottery that's going to be drawn around that time in December, but who knows what? You're going to have some lucky breaks, and it's going to come through news information or marketing and selling. And in your case, it's very much about your career and reputation, because that's where Venus is and that's where Mercury is. So it's a two for deal. 17th, 18th, 21st, 22nd, they're all interconnected. And with Venus, it can be money coming from your career, or Mercury could be messages that you're dispensing or getting in your career path, or selling something in the journey of your career if you sell things like I do. And I would say to you, because Uranus is sitting in that Taurus zone, it's all very earthy, right? You're grounding something in earnings. I mean, this is where you had the big boom. I call it the big boom of the end of July, beginning of August, was resetting the way you make money for the next 15 years. That was Uranus North Node conjunct Mars. Big deal for you. And this is a part of that reset of how you earn money. And this is very positive energy for you. This could, in fact, be a part of a new way of earning money, not just, oh, I made a little bit more money, and some good news came through and I managed to sell a lot more things. This could really reset your earnings and career direction. And it may be a part of a new 15-year direction. It's a big deal. So that is 17th, 18th, Mercury trines Uranus, good news, financial news, exciting news, money news, career news, Venus bonifying things up again, later on the 21st, 22nd, following up with what Mercury was up to. So bottom line, let's say between the 15th to the 24th of December. You guys are killing it financially, and there's good, really good money news in your story. Oh my God, you guys try talking as much as I do. It's been a long day of talking. And I'm recording this on December 13th. If you would like to get into my Patreon community, then you're going to get this well in advance of the rest of the world. Everything I do on YouTube, Patreon people get days in advance, and there are no ads. So just consider that for $5 a month. You might want to move over to my Patreon community. All right, on moving forward, December the 20th. Okay, then we have a beautiful moon coming up, a Capricorn, December 23rd, new moon conjunct Hygeia, the goddess of healing. And this is in Capricorn, so this is the house of your career. So in what place in your life, in your career path, are you setting a new healing course that you'll see the fullness of 6 months later as a full moon happens in Capricorn during the summertime, right? In the Cancer season. So usually it's going to be sometime around the solstice, sometime, June to July, you're going to see the fullness of what you're setting as a new beginning, a Capricorn new moon conjunct the goddess of healing, Hygeia, and you're healing something to do with your career path, your purpose, your reputation, and how you actually see success as being something that you wish to have. Now, I would say to you as well that because around December 23rd, when this new moon is setting a new course for you in your career path, and this is particularly good because of Hygeia, like healing something in your reputation career path. Around that same time, just the day after, like the 24th to the 26th, Mercury sextiles Neptune on the 24th, 25th, 26th. And this is a sextile that's kind of beautiful because it's going to repeat itself on December 31st and February the 5th. The reason it's doing the repeat is because of Mercury's retrogradation in your 10th house. You guys are spending a lot of time here with a Mercury sextile Neptune, envisioning, dreaming up, and powering up a sort of like visionary awareness of how you wish to proceed in your career. If you're somebody like me with PayPal, Stripe accounts, this is definitely good for seeing new ways to make revenue from foreign lands and foreign shores. But in a deeper meaning would be having a new vision, a new dream, a new assessment of career that is going to bring you great gains, basically. And Mercury is a messenger. So some of this can be very literal. Mercury sextile Neptune could be a dream opportunity in your career, December 24th to 26th. Mercury Neptune is also very psychic energy, but of course it's landing the practical outcome. So psychic insights, dreams at night, visions about how you can up level that career path. I'll have to say, if you use videography like I do, Neptune rules videography, like, YouTube and stuff like that, Instagram Reels and storytelling. Some of you, if you're storytellers, may have a great new story idea come, but certainly it can help you learn new ways to market, merchandise, and sell, maybe using videography, if that's a part of your course of career path that you're on. But don't forget, December 24th to 26th will be repeated as a retrograde Mercury on the 31st of December, and again in February on the 5th. Finally, the end of the month is going to be Mercury conjunct Venus on December the 20th. I'm looking at my notes, 8th and 9th. Now, certainly this is good for money because it's marketing and merchandising. Mercury and markets for the stock market, not too bad for the world. And Venus, the goddess of money herself, in earthy Capricorn. Could look like a financial bonus, a financial upswing, ability to prosper through sales, or getting a promotion, or good news about some financial or promotional energy in your career space. And at the same time that this is happening around December 28th and 29th, okay, Venus is also forming a sextile to Neptune, which is very dreamy, very romantic, but also very sweet. It's like a sweet spot in the sky regarding your career. Now, you could be traveling too, because Neptune in the house of foreign shores and Venus, you may be on a journey as well. Some of you may not be domestic at that time. And again, it's just a kind of like, if you were to meet somebody and you're an Aries and you're single under a Venus Neptune sextile, it is quite a soulmatey, dreamy vibe regarding that relationship. But because Venus is in your career and reputation house, it may also involve your work. Some sweet spot there. And it ends at the end of the month. I have to laugh at Aries. You guys are the ones who watch the least of the videos. If you look at all of my independent videos for each sign, I swear Aries hardly ever take any advice from astrologers, where all the other signs are munching the stuff up. So I kind of, sometimes I think I waste the best on you guys. December 31st, New Year's Eve, Venus conjunct Pluto. Don't overdo it. You might go to the deep, dark side here with your overindulgences when Venus is on Pluto at the end of the sign of Capricorn, but it's good for your wealth. This is a wealth generating aspect pattern that can happen once a year, and it's happening on New Year's Eve. Does it mean you get rich on New Year's Eve? Not necessarily, but what the heck. And I forgot to tell you guys something that I was going to do for all signs. So we're going to go back in time a bit. Go back to what was going on September, October, November of 2018, when you had the asteroid Ceres, the goddess of the harvest and abundance and the rescuing mother archetype, moving through your Libra corridor of relationships. Were you cutting away, scything through, harvesting away significant love and business relationships? Possibly, right? Because it's back again. And Ceres is back, coming through, into entering on December 18th, your 7th house of relationships. Now, honestly, I mean, she's going to be here forever, all the way through to September of 2023, but she's in spurts. So the beginning is December 18th to March the 22nd in the first 6 degrees of the sign of Libra. So Aries, sun, moon, and rising in the first like 8 degrees. This is really going to be an important time of cutting away or scything or ending or harvesting a significant relationship from your life. However, she brings abundance and fertility and goodness that way. And this is a house of your audience, your clients, and your others. And you can definitely anticipate a great fertility and abundance coming from how you reach your clients, audience, and others through December 18th to March 22nd and back again June 21st to September 15th. But it starts up in December, which is why I'm mentioning it, but I will be doing a whole separate video on the asteroid series moving through Libra. All right, thanks for listening. And I hope you guys have an amazing, you and me, since I'm one of you guys, an amazing time in the month of December. Ciao, ciao. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Check out my Divine Timing Masterclass. I'd love to have you in it in February. And you need to be an advanced beginner or intermediate astrologer in order to take that class. It's not for the very, very brand new to astrology. Thanks, guys.